I got a solo review on deck here, and it's going to be for The Testament of Anne Lee. This is a movie here directed by Mona Fastfold there. She was the co-writer of The Brutalist, which came out in 2024. That was a big movie that came out that year. She's mostly been a co-writer on things there, or writer on things. This is her third feature film there. This is starring Amanda Seyfried there, who we just saw. She was in Housemaid just this past December there. And in this movie here, she's playing as a biographical film here. This is a musical biographical film. She's starring the character of Anne Lee there, who was a preacher there. She was the leader of the Shakers, which was a Quaker religious movement there, preached pacifism, nonviolence, gender
Mm.
equality there during this time. Hugely influential, to my understanding, of religion at this period of time. This was during the like 1736. It follows it, so chronicles her whole life. Like when she was born in 1736 and up until her death, she didn't live very long. She
Mm.
only lived to be like 48 years old, I think. Basically, yeah. So it's just a straight kind of biographical film, biopic with just musical sequences in it. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what you have there of the persecution she faced while she was this leader of this movement here. It covers her migration from England there to New York. She faced persecution there as well because, obviously there was a huge war that was going on between England and the United States. And, was she on the side of, either country? Was she a spy? There was a lot of that kind of going on, and she faced a lot of violence for that. Um, yeah, so I didn't expect it to be. I mean, I saw the trailer. I saw they were
Mm.
kind of dancing and singing. I didn't know how big of a musical it was going to be until I saw the movie. And there is a lot of it in the movie, and it's well done for what it is. I did kind of enjoy it there. I don't know how much of the singing Amanda Seyfried or the other actors they're doing themselves, or maybe it's some added addition there. But Amanda Seyfried, I do think is very good in the film there. I think, she's one of the main things to really see about this movie there. Amongst the visuals are also really gorgeous too. With the film, there's a scene like where they're out in the water, looks really gorgeous, or they're just kind of like where she's in the town she's in, that looks really great. That's shot really well. And it is really her there that is really kind of carrying this movie, and seeing her, especially obviously what we know about women in this kind of time period of what they were kind of going through, and about the whole kind of movement itself, because it's a movement that preaches also abstinence and celibacy. So it's like, the more that people fornicate, the more that people engage in sex, they stray further away from God and not connected to God. I don't know, maybe I mean, we do see a montage of her constantly having sex with her husband, who in this is played by Christopher Abbott. And there's people I know, he was in Werewolf there. He was in that film. And I don't know, it just seemed like she just didn't want to have sex with her husband anymore. Cause like every time she had sex with her husband, she got pregnant. She kept having a lot of miscarriages. The babies didn't never made it to even adulthood or even to be kids. They died. So it just seemed like she was just like, well, I don't want to go through this again. I think it's maybe best if people just don't have sex there. But yeah, I think the movie's over 2 hours and 10 minutes. I do think you feel the length of that movie quite a bit there, watching it there. And I do think that Amanda Seyfried, I don't understand why she really didn't get the push Oscar wise. I don't know if the Searchlight just didn't do that, because I do think that if they did more of a push for her, she would have maybe got nominated for Best Actress at the Academy Awards there. I think they should have done a bigger push for her. The supporting cast is solid. I mean, you have Lewis Pullman, who's in this, who plays her brother in it. You got Thomasin McKenzie, who people might know. She was in Last Night in Soho. She was one of the leads of that film. Who plays like members of her flock there that we see recurring there as well. So it's a solid film. I do think seeing on the big screen, seeing with the visuals, that helps a lot with it as well there. I don't know if you're going to be that blown away by it per se, but
Mm.
I think it was a solid film there. For me, I would give it kind of a lowish tune in for me there. I know you're a big kind of history buff there. I don't know if you know much about Anne Lee.
No, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't know too much. I can't say.
Got you there. Yeah, and like it's yeah, they do a lot of that. It's kind of like being stuck, I guess, in an interpretive dance class, like watching
Mm.
that, I guess. So yeah,
So, like the Suspiria remake.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, they kind of do that in Suspiria too. Catching the Holy Ghost there.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, so Loge 2 in for the Testament of Anne Lee. They're doing a broader release of it now. It released earlier in I think December, and they're doing a bigger release of it now since it's getting I guess a little bit more awards attention. But yeah.